Fair use notice. This is an Omega Watchmen Media Group production. All music is owned by Omega Watchmen Media Group and a Watchman of the Sword. All news, clips, videos, and articles are used in the proper context of fair use. Full legal action and remedies will be sought against any person or media group, including YouTube, if the videos are flagged for copyright, not monetized, or blocked from search results. Courts originally presumed that if use was commercial, it was an unfair exploitation. They later abandoned that assumption due to many of the possible fair uses of a work listed in Section 107's preamble, such as uses for purposes of news reporting or conducted for profit. Although courts still consider the commercial nature of the use as part of their analysis, they will not brand a transformative use unfair simply because it makes a profit. Accordingly, the presence of advertising on a website would not in of itself doom one's claim to fair use. Notwithstanding the provisions of Sections 106 and 106A, the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phonorecords or by any other means specified by that section, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of copyright. Moreover, if the original work or use of it has news value, this can also increase the likelihood that the use is of fair use. Although there is no particular legal doctrine specifying how this is weighed, several court opinions have cited the newsworthiness of the work in question when finding in favor of fair use.
Northern California now. David Begnaud is in paradise, what was paradise, where one fire official says everything is destroyed.
Look at this line of burned out vehicles. People either stopped here on the side of the road because they couldn't go any further or because they literally wanted to get out and run for their lives. Look at the damage done to one of these vehicles. People died inside their cars as they tried to get out but had to wait. Jeff, tonight families are using social media to try and find relatives who are still unaccounted for.
It's like a movie scene, like an apocalypse.
It's like a movie scene, like an apocalypse.
Heavenly Father, please help us. Please help us to be safe. I am thankful for Jeremy and his willingness to be brave.
Hey, guess what? We're not gonna catch on fire, okay? We're gonna stay away from it. And we'll be just fine. Okay? We're doing all right. Baby, it'll be all right. We should. We're gonna. We're gonna get out, okay?
There were people literally burning in their cars, running down the street, abandoning their vehicles. It was just utter panic.
Cal Fire District Chief John Cox escorted us into the town. It is a disaster. We saw those cars that people abandoned as they felt trapped and decided to run. Some people took refuge in concrete parking lots, which proved to be lifesavers. Is how many people may have died in their homes because they just couldn't get out fast enough.
David filed this report from the first scene in Paradise, California.
It has been 24 hours since the fire exploded here in Northern California, and it is still windy. That's a storage center behind me that is burning, and we've been hearing explosions. That's why we're walking away. Listen, over the last 24 hours, there have been harrowing accounts of people literally abandoning their vehicles and getting out to run for their lives.
Heavenly Father, please help us.
Surrounded by walls of flames, whipped by winds of 50 miles per hour, people drove through hell trying to escape.
That sucks. People come with surprises.
Heavenly Father, please help us. Please help us to be safe. I'm thankful for Jeremy and his willingness to be brave.
Northern California now. David Begnaud is in paradise, what was paradise, where one fire official says everything is destroyed.
Jeff, this fire is burning out of control 24 hours after it started. People have died. Firefighters have been hurt. We just heard what sounded like an explosion in the distance, and a police officer told us it was propane tanks. That's another explosion. Propane tanks exploding. Homes like these are burning. No firefighters are around. It's not because they don't want to be here. It's because there's so much fire to fight that they're having to prioritize life over property.
I'm so scared right now. So terrified.
As the fast-moving wildfire ravaged Northern California, the entire city of 27,000 people was forced to evacuate.
Go!
The highways were jammed with cars. People were desperately trying.
Hey, guess what? We're not gonna catch on fire, okay? We're gonna stay away from it. And we'll be just fine. Okay? We're doing all right. Baby, it'll be all right. We should. We're gonna. We're gonna get out, okay? We're gonna leave. No, we're gonna get out of here. And we'll come back when it's, more Princess Poppy, okay? I'm gonna stay away from it, okay? Yeah. Yep. Look, we're past it. We're out of it, okay? Yay! We did it together! Yeah.
reports they also affected capitals around the world, including Jerusalem.
While Republicans maintained control of the Senate, they lost the House.
There's a lot of power in the House. I mean, there's a lot of influence over appropriations, and so it's not going to be as easy for them as it has been. It's going to be a battle. I hope to God that Israel doesn't have to pay for it, because that would be a terrible mistake.
The next item on the agenda will likely be the president's peace plan.
The president has been pushing what he calls the deal of the century, an Israeli-Palestinian peace accord. And my assumption is that he will be pressing his peace plan more rigorously in the future. My own advice as a member of the Israeli government is that we study very seriously and take seriously this peace plan and try to respond to it as flexibly and openly as possible.
Palestinians see an opportunity.
The Democrats in the United States are getting closer to a position that may lead eventually to a peace process in the area, whereas his policy has really been a very difficult one to understand. It does not get us anywhere closer to a peace process. On the contrary, I think it makes it very difficult to reach a peace process. From that position, I think the result of the elections indicate a possibility of a change in American policy eventually.
Mike Evans serves on President Trump's Faith Advisory Board and is troubled by the recent history of Democrats with Israel's prime minister.